strategist, futurist. What are we talking about this week?
We are talking about the future of weather, because I think ultimately, if we want to be the change in the world, we have to understand the change happening around us.
Okay. And my apologies, I've been saying the future of careers. I don't know why. Every time I see the word future of, in every discussion I've been, the word career has followed it. The future of weather. Why are we talking about the future of weather? Why?
I think we really need to start paying attention to that, you know, especially if we start having conversations like, for example, the G20 about climate change. We also need to have a conversation about geoengineering.
Oh, James Bond stuff.
James Bond stuff.
Oh, that's Mission Impossible, by the way. Sorry. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Tell us.
So let me frame it quickly. So if you look at geoengineering, it is the deliberate manipulation of weather and our Earth's climate systems to get specific outcomes. So there's 5 types of geoengineerings that are usually used. The first one is carbon dioxide removal, which is see it as a vacuum cleaner of removing carbon dioxide.
That's kind of what trees do.
That who does?
That trees do, right?
Oh, yes. But it removes that for cleaner air.
Okay.
But then you've got solar radiation management. Now, solar radiation management is like the sunglasses of the earth. It dims the sunlight, sun blocking, like many would call that. Then you've got the glacier geoengineering, which is the ice mountains, the ice slates, etc. But then you've got cloud seeding.
Yes.
Cloud seeding,
is
which
the one
is
that caused so much trouble.
Is causing so much trouble, and it's that soft nudge to get the rainfall that is required. I mean, like, have you noticed how December was last year?
Yes.
December, January, and how the weather is right now. And then also...
Carmen Murray, are you saying something?
Paying attention, that's all.
Okay.
Marine, then there's also marine geoengineering. Now, I'm bringing this up because we really need to have a conversation around the cause and effects of these unregulated innovations. This is not regulated.
Really?
No.
You mean anybody who's got the technology can decide to make it rain tomorrow?
There's not, and also the cause and effect. So I would love for us to have some sort of discussions around what this could potentially mean for us and what questions we as leaders need to start asking when it comes to climate change.
Yeah. The first question is, why is it not regulated? If it has such potential to wreak havoc.
Yeah.
Because I've seen in Dubai, and one of the biggest floodings in Dubai was because of the cloud seeding thing. But they believe, for whatever reason, that, I don't know how to phrase this correctly because I'm not a scientist, but the cloud seeding was done in extreme, was done too much. It was meant to be like, let's say 10%, but it was done at like 50%, so it wouldn't stop raining, and it was massive floods in Dubai. Exactly.
So just for the audience, cloud seeding is where they put, I think it's sulfur dioxide into the
atmosphere,
or silver. I can't remember exactly what it is, but they put into
silver. Yeah,
they put iodide. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, they put it into the clouds, and that nudges the rain to happen. Now, what's fascinating about cloud seeding? Did you know that there was an operation called Operation Popeye during the Vietnam War, where America actually used cloud seeding, and this is between 1967 and 1972, used cloud seeding to fight their war. They wanted to the US military used cloud seeding to extend monsoon rain and food supply. They wanted to make sure that the roads that they're using are all mudded, that people can't supply things around. And actually the UN then announced in 1977 that this is banned. And so if we just look at what recently happened in Mexico, there was a company called Make Sunsets, where they've launched these balloons into the air, sulfur dioxide, and then they sold cooling credits to the public to say to them that this is an offset from your climate footprint. Then the government found out and then banned that completely. But can you see the geocapitalism making its way?
Sorry, can we go back? Because
yes.
They use a lot of like James Bond villain words. Like, I'm not that smart. and I'm trying to figure out what you just said in the sentence. So they sent up these balloons and they sold cooling credits.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. It's almost like the emperor with no clothing, or the emperor's clothing. Like, they're selling these credits and nobody can actually justify. So they say, okay, right, to offset your carbon footprint, we'll release sulfur dioxide where you stay.
So it'll make it rain.
So that your footprint. So it's using almost like climate guilt.
What?
And people, like, they were offsetting this.
What
I mean, like,
this?
I mean, how crazy is that, right? But anyway, this is why I'm saying this is becoming something that we really have to pay attention to, is regulation around these things that is our living in human ecosystems. You know, the conversation that we should be having is the weather volatility and the impact on food security.
Yeah.
I'll use a simple example. Last year, our whole December, I think there was one day that it wasn't raining. Our grass was yellow. I couldn't grow my vegetable garden properly because it didn't get enough sun. So if these things are offset, there's not enough balance. But what we're not talking about, so for example, if they had to use the solar radiation, you know, the sunglasses on the earth for Namibia, to cool the oceans down at the Atlantic, that's great. But now what that causes is the Amazon, which is the lungs of the earth, it causes drought on that side.
Yeah, you know, so our theme today is the future of weather, right? And you are saying to me that there are organizations and institutions now that have, for the longest time since that war already, even predate that they have found a way to commercialize geoengineering to the point that we might think, oh, this is normal rainfall. But in actual fact, it's engineered. Somebody put on a switch somewhere and decided that it will rain for the next 21 days.
Yeah.
And then in countries like Mexico, they've actually banned it because somebody then... Okay, what kind of person are you that says, oh, I'm going to commercialize the rain?